Okay, Bismillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah, Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Jazakumullah khairan. Okay, so today we have a short ayah. There's a couple of things that we will have to sort of spend a little bit of time on for those of you that are ready. If you're not ready for this, if everything else is pretty new to you, then inshallah just see if you can understand. If you don't understand, don't worry. So we'll start with, I'm going to split this ayah into two, and then at the end we'll read it as one. So just for the sake of practice, I will read the first one till here. Okay, so if we start with Sister Radia with the isti'adha, please. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
Not bad, mashallah. I did notice that when you read the word أعوذ, the U, there was a gunna in there, so you were saying right? So I could hear the gunna. So remember the sound. When you circle your lips, make sure there's a gap and let the sound come out through the gap. So it comes out from the lips. So let's try that again. أعوذ.
أعوذ.
That's better. أعوذ.
أعوذ.
MashaAllah, much better. Let's continue with the whole thing. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
Also the word shaitan, when you're saying the ta, you're saying ta, like it's going through the الشيطان ta, الشيطان الرجيم.
الشيطان الرجيم.
So I think what's happening is because the sound of the voice is directed upwards in the mouth, I think what's happening is you're sending the sound of your voice upwards, but you're starting two back. So when it's two back, it's going up through the nose. So what I want you to try is, instead of you making it go straight up, try sending it diagonally forward. It may work better. Okay, let's try that. الشيطان الرجيم.
الشيطان الرجيم.
It's a little bit better. Say on it, please, if you can say on its own, ta.
Ta.
That's very good. Alhamdulillah. That one's much better. Now we want to keep this one. الشيطان الرجيم.
الشيطان الرجيم.
That's much better, Sister Radia. Allah bless you. Good.
I'm using my mirror.
Oh, alhamdulillah. Good.
I always have my mirror with me.
Good, good.
Try to use
Alhamdulillah. It is good. It's always good, even if you're reciting on your own at home, and even when you attend the class, it's always good to have a little, maybe a cosmetic mirror. If you rely on going to, or walking to a larger mirror in the house, then sometimes you can get lazy in doing that. So it's better just to keep a small one next to you. And if you just want a quick check of, am I doing this right? Just have a look at your mouth. It's a great idea. Well done. Alhamdulillah. Auntie Nasreen, if you can say the Basmallah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim.
Okay, so just the ra with the fatha onto both ra's, keeping it heavy. Remember we said that slow movement. Finish the ra heavy first, then move to the ha. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim.
Better, Jazakumullahu khairan. Okay, Papa Juksana, if you can join with me for the first part of this ayah. قُلْ إِنَّمَا الْعِلْمُ عِندَ اللَّهِ.
قُلْ إِنَّمَا الْعِلْمُ عِندَ اللَّهِ.
Not bad. Jazakallah khairan. Your lam is good. Your first lam especially was good. Alhamdulillah. Well done. MashaAllah. Allah bless you. Okay, so for the breakdown, we'll see here that we have the qul we have seen before, so I'm not going to go into it too much. We have the word innama. The noon here is noon mushaddad. This has the longest gunna, which means that we have to hold the joining. Okay, innama. The fatha part, once you've held the joining part, when you continue, the continued na is not prolonged. That's just one count. Innama. Okay, so that's not held after that, but the first part is. And then we have the meme. The meme here is removed. Now the meme has a mad alif after it, but again we'll see that the next letter here has got a sukoon, which means that if the mad alif also has a sukoon, we have iltiqa as-sakinain, and we have hadaf here. We drop the alif mad, so we move from the meme straight to the lam. Okay, now we had lam sukoon at the beginning, we had lam sukoon again here in al-ilmu, and then we have it again in the middle of the word. Okay, so we got it here, we got it here, and we got it here. So in all three places, the timing should all be equal. So we shouldn't be holding one lam longer than we do another lam, or one lam shorter than we do another lam. قُلْ إِنَّمَا الْعِلْمُ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ. Try that again, Papaji.
قل إنما العلم عند الله.
Very good attempt, mashallah, Papaji. You're doing very good today, alhamdulillah. The only thing you're doing with the first part is after, I think you said here, after this part, when you say innamal, there's a break. There's a pause, yeah? So I want you to try and keep the sound running. Let me just get rid of all of this for a minute. It's probably better I do it in red because the red will stay. So we have the lam here, the lam here, and the lam here. So just remember, probably finish the tawassut, keep it running. When you finish the tawassut, go straight to the next letter. We'll try that again. قُلْ إِنَّمَا الْعِلْمُ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ.
قل إنما العلم عند الله.
That was much better. Alhamdulillah. Nice smooth flow. Jazakumullahu khairan. Then we come to the next part. We have عند Allah. We have here the noon sakin followed by the dal. This is again what we've seen quite a few times now. This is ikhfa haqiqi, and because the dal after it is a light letter, therefore we have a light gunna. Okay, in other words, you shouldn't be saying it's close to the makhraj of the dal, but not touching the dal. Okay, remember we said you get ready for the next letter for this. And then the next part is one which again I'm going to go into a little bit of detail today with the lafzul jalala, with the name of Allah here, and the lam rule. Okay, now the lam, now we've seen letters like, for example, ra. Ra is a letter which is generally considered a light letter. It is an istifal letter in general, but there are occasions where it is read heavy, and we've learnt that already. Lam is another one of those letters. Lam is another letter where generally it's an istifal letter, just like the ra is considered an istifal letter, but there are times and occasions where the lam will be read heavy. So far, the amount that we've read, when we read up until ilmu, every single lam in there was light. Qul innamal ilmu. They were all light, okay? With the name of Allah, the lam in the name of Allah, that is the only occasion where it might be heavy, okay? And the rule is that if you have the name of Allah, so if we have the name of Allah, you are always looking at the word before it, and you're looking at the last letter, okay? And you're looking at what haraka that last letter has got, because in the name of Allah, the lam is always joined to the letter before. So this letter is crucial, okay? If this letter has, and now we're going to follow a similar rule to the ra, if the letter before has a fatha or it has a dhamma, then the lam in the name of Allah will be read heavy, okay? If you have the name of Allah and before it, the last letter has a kasra, then the lam in the name of Allah will be read light. And that's why you see when we say, whenever we start, we say Bismillah ar-Rahmanir Rahim. But here we have the name of Allah. We're checking the last letter. Here it has a kasra. And the kasra means it's going to be read light. So the lam in the name of Allah will be like, we don't say Bismillah, we say Bismillah. Okay, it's nice and light. Bismillah, that lam is light. Okay, but if we look at the example we have here now, we have the name of Allah. So we look at the letter before, it is a dal. Now the type of letter that exists just before the name of Allah doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's a heavy letter or a light letter. It doesn't matter. All we're interested in is what haraka, what vowel has that letter got. Has it got a fatha, a dhamma, or a kasra? Okay. Anything at the top means that it will be the lam in the name of Allah will be heavy. So in this case, we've got the fatha, and this is the rule for the lam being heavy. So in this case, we don't say indallah, we say indallah, indallah. We don't say indallah. You see, that lam is light. In this, on this occasion, the lam should not be light. It's supposed to be read heavy. One other thing that we do need to be careful of is sometimes, just like we've seen with other words, when you have a letter that is being read heavy, it's very easy to make the letter before or the letter after heavy too. So it's very easy here to make the dal heavy, and you have to be careful because it's dal fatha da, da. We don't, so we say indallah. We don't want to say see the dal becoming heavy. Indallah. You have to be careful of this one, right? You've got to keep the dal heavy, so don't start the heavy letter too early. Okay, let's try just these two words again, Pupuji, and for those of you at home, have a go as well. Indallah.
Indallah.
That's better. We'll do it again. Indallah.
Sorry. Indallah.
Not bad, Pupuji. Jazakumullahu khairan. Your dal is better. In the first time, you did actually make it heavy, but alhamdulillah, you fixed it this time. How do we make this lam heavy? So I have shared this before, but I am going to show you again. So the lam, this is an image showing both lambs. So on this side, we have the light lamb, and on the right, we have the heavy lamb. What I want you to see and pay attention to is that the front of the tongue is the same. Okay, the back of the tongue is changing. Okay, so we've got, and if you look carefully, let me just get rid of this blue circle so you can see a bit more clearly. What you can see is that if you look at this part here, oopsie daisies, let's try that again. I don't think I can write with the, no, I can't. Okay, let's go back to, okay, so if you look at this part here, and then you can see, no, it's not helping having that square there. There we go, that's better. Okay, so you'll see that if you try and follow the line of the back, it's not, see, if I carry on going up, it's not in line with this part. But when it's heavy, look, this part, if I carry on drawing the line, actually, let me get rid of that circle again. I've got a habit of drawing circles and sometimes they get in the way. If I draw a line straight up, it's meeting the very back. Okay, that means that this back part is moving slightly back. It's not closing anything off. So you're not actually touching anything, but a slight shift backwards. Okay, not only that, but you've also got now with the light one, you've got this slope of the tongue. The tongue just becomes rested right at the back. Here, the tongue comes down, it gets this dip, and then it rises again. Okay, so that's another thing that's going to help you. So it's almost like, you remember when we said going to the dentist, you know, when you're laying back and instead of that sound that you're making, that the back of the tongue is a little bit lifted for that. And the last thing I want to show you is the direction of the sound. So you'll see here that with the light one, the sound is coming this way. And it's, sorry, let me do that again. That's going to get confusing. It's coming out. But with the heavy lam, where's it going? Diagonally up. Okay, so there's quite a few things that you need to think about here. You need to think about what's going on with the back of my tongue, what's going on with the direction of the sound of my voice. Okay, the front of the tongue stays the same. So let's come back. So if I show you, when I say the light lam, when I say L, 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 nothing is changing at the front between the two. So everything at the front is exactly the same. So the thing which is going to change the sound and make your lam heavy is what's going on inside at the back. Okay, so so here we're going del del Allah. Try that again, Pupaji.
عند الله.
So your first lam, Pupaji, is light. So you're saying indallah, right? I want both lams have to be heavy. Indallah.
عند الله.
So when you're moving after the dal, when you say da, when you move away from the dal, I want you should be getting ready. As soon as you're going to the lam, you have to be ready for a heavy lam. So just and mashallah, you can manage the lam because when you say the fatha, you're saying it correctly. So, but I want you to get ready for that sooner. So as soon as you say ain dal, already the back of the tongue is in position. Ain dal.
عند الله.
That's better. That's better. Jazakumullahu khairan. So this is sometimes does take a little bit of practice, but it is something you need to be aware of. So the name of Allah, you always check the letter before, and we check the haraka on that letter. Okay, and in this case, it's heavy because of the fatha on the dal. Jazakumullahu khairan. Let's actually let's do that one more time just for the sake of practice. Let's go back to the beginning, Pupaji, and let's practice that so everybody at home can have a chance. قل إنما العلم عند الله.
قل إنما العلم عند الله.
جزاكم الله خيرا. And if we are stopping here, we did you may have noticed that when we pronounced the ha, we kept it running. We said عند الله. That because the ha is a rakhawa letter. If we are stopping here and putting in sukoon, then we will read it with rakhawa. But you'll see at the end when we read this whole ayah together, when you read it in continuation, when you carry on to the next word, then you pronounce this kasra and say indallahi wa innama. Okay, right. Let's try the next part. So who didn't read before? Okay, Sister Hamera, if we do the next part. وَإِنَّمَا أَنَا نَذِيرٌ مُبِينٌ.
وَإِنَّمَا أَنَا نَذِيرٌ مُبِينٌ.
Okay, so let's do the breakdown. So وَإِنَّمَا, you'll notice innama is the same word that we saw earlier on. Okay, but this time at the end of this word, we have this long alif. This long mud sign. Why do we have it? Look at the next letter, Hamza. Remember we said Hamza is a big, almost like a game changer. When you have a Hamza after a mud, you pronounce it long. So in this case, again, this is mud jaiz, munfasil, and we read it for 4 to 5 counts. We should be doing it 4, inshallah. Okay, so as if we carry on reading and say wa innama ana, okay, then we'll read this alif for 4 or 5 counts. Both are acceptable. Okay, so that's your mad jaiz munfasil. And then we have the word ana. Now I also want to go just explain this alif at the end of the word ana. Now you'll notice that on top here we have what is called as-sifrul mustatil al-qa'im. it is not a sukoon, because if you look at the places where we do have sukoon, it is a different shape completely. Okay, the sukoon is it's the top of the letter ha. Okay, so they normally take the top shape, and that becomes your sukoon shape. They do that because they pick letter ha because it means khafif, and when a letter is sakina, you're pronouncing a little bit. You get a hint of the letter, but it's not a very strong sound of the letter. Okay, but here you'll notice that you've actually got almost like a zero, almost like an oblong zero sign on top of this. Now this alif, this is part of what we call alifatu sab'a, the 7 alifs. It is known as it is known as being part of the 7 alifs, alifatu sab'a. They exist, and it's got the word sab'a, which means 7. This is referring to the fact that this alif with the sifr al-mustatil al-qa'im on it, with that sign on top, with the 0, it is only found in 7 words. Okay, in the whole Mus'haf, it is found in 7 words. It is found in the word salasila. It is found in the word as-sabila. It is found in the word ar-rasula. It is found also in al-dhununa. It is also found in qawarira, and then lakinna, and then this word ana is the 7th. Okay, it doesn't mean they only exist once though, because this word ana comes many times in the Quran. Okay, so we see this sifr al-mustatil al-qa'im many times. Even if you open the Mus'haf and look at Surah, if you've got the Uthmani script, if you look at Surah Al-Kafirun, you'll see this sifr al-mustatil al-qa'im there too, and it will be the same rule applied even when you are reciting Surah Al-Kafirun. So what is the rule here, and what is so special about this sifr al-mustatil al-qa'im? So it is a rule in terms of what we need to learn is how we're reading this, because we've got this alif, and this alif could be a mad alif because it's got a fatha before it. Okay, you've got the fatha on the noon, then it's followed by an alif, which means it does qualify as being a mad letter. Now, having the 0 on top means that you're sometimes reading this alif, sometimes you're not reading this alif. Okay, and the general rule across all of those words that I mentioned, okay, with salasila, as-sabila, ar-rasula, al-dhununa, qawarira, lakinna, and ana. With all these 7 words, the rule is the same. It's the standard rule for all 7. Whenever you see it, if you stop on this word, okay, if I stop, then I read the alif. Okay, you read the alif. This means that you'll stretch it for 2 counts. It becomes a normal mad asli. We'll say ana wa innama ana. You see, you stretch it for 2 counts. Okay, it'll be 2 counts. If I carry on reading, if you continue, then you drop the alif. Okay, so if I carried on reading now and I said ana, then it's as though this alif is not there. I read this noon, I then go straight to the next noon. Ana nadhir, as opposed to ana, which was longer at the end. Ana, but then ana nadhir. Okay, so this is the special rule for this alifat sab'a. So whenever you see this, if you have Uthmani script, then when you see this sifr al-mustatil al-qa'im, then you know that when I continue reading, I drop this alif, and when I stop on this word, then I will read the alif. Okay. So on this occasion, we are reading in continuation. So we will be moving from the noon to the next noon. Okay. So this is something also to listen out for and to make sure that you are applying this in your recitation as well. So let's try this again, Sister Hamera. وَإِنَّمَا أَنَا نَذِيرٌ مُبِينٌ.
وَإِنَّمَا أَنَا نَذِيرٌ مُبِينٌ.
Jazakumullahu khairan. Okay, so I hope you all managed to hear the noon and the noon. We just continue and there's no stretching. We have the dal here with a mad ya after it. In continuation, this is still just a 2-count mad. It's mad asli or mad tabi'i if we carry on reading. If I was to stop on this word, now if this is, if you're new to this, don't worry. But if you already know this, then it's just acts as a revision or a reminder for you. If we stop on this word, then it becomes mad arid li sukun. And in that case, it can be 2 counts, 4 counts, or 6 counts. So we could say nadir, or we could say nadir, or we could say nadir. Okay. That's in the case of stopping on this word. And if you were stopping on this word, then you're putting a sukoon on the ra. If you're putting a sukoon on the ra and you want to know, am I reading this ra heavy or light? I go to the letter before, which is also got a sukoon. I then go to the dal, and I can see the dal has a kasra. And that's why if I stop on the word, then the ra is light. I'll say nadir. Okay. But if I carry on reading, if I'm reading in continuation, then the sukoon doesn't apply because I'm not reading the sukoon. Okay. And in that case, I see that it has a dhammatain on it. It's got a haraka on top. Therefore, the ra is heavy. I say nadhiru, nadhirum mubin. Try that, Sister Hamara.
Nadir.
It can be lighter. Nadhir.
Nadir.
That's better. And now try in continuation. Nadhirum mubin.
Nadirun mubin.
That's better. Just don't forget that the noon is tawassut. So just keep it a little bit longer, because it's almost like I'm getting a very small hint of it, but it's got to be clearer than that. Okay. So let's try this again from the beginning of this part. وَإِنَّمَا أَنَا نَذِيرٌ مُبِينٌ
وَإِنَّمَا أَنَا نَذِيرٌ مُبِينٌ.
جزاكم الله خيرا. Okay, inshallah, let's go back to the beginning. Let's see if we can do the whole ayah together. Actually, before we do it together, let's get some of the other sisters also to recite this. So let's go back to Sister Nasreen, if we can do the first part. قُلْ إِنَّمَا الْعِلْمُ عِندَ اللَّهِ.
قُلْ إِنَّمَا الْعِلْمُ عِندَ اللَّهِ.
Okay, we'll try that again. So the lam here, remember, is heavy. So I think the joining lam was heavy, but then when you said the fatha and the mud after it, then it became light. So just keep the heavy going, even when you say the fatha and the mud alif after the lam. And auntie, the lam here, we want to reduce the time because the timings were different. So this lam you read longer, and this lam was a lot shorter. So we want to try and keep that balance and keep them all the same. They are all tawassut. قُلْ إِنَّمَا الْعِلْمُ عِندَ اللَّهِ.
قُلْ إِنَّمَا الْعِلْمُ sorry. قُلْ إِنَّمَا الْعِلْمُ عِندَ اللَّهِ.
Yeah, you're trying very hard, mashallah. The lams, mashallah, was much better this time. So alhamdulillah, well done. Let's say the last 2 words together. So remember, for the ikhfa, auntie, hold this ikhfa, get ready for the dal, and say the dal after. When you finish the gunna, عند Allah.
Sorry. عند الله.
Much better, much better. Jazakumullahu khairan. That was much better. Keep practicing, get comfortable with it. I know at the moment you're putting quite a bit of effort. It's something which isn't coming very naturally because you're having to really think hard. Yeah. But the more you practice, the more comfortable you'll get with this. Okay? So just keep practicing. But mashallah, very good effort. And then Sister Radhiya, if we can do the next part. وَإِنَّمَا أَنَا نَذِيرٌ مُبِينٌ.
وَإِنَّمَا أَنَا نَذِيرٌ مبين.
I just want to hear the dhamma more clearly on the ra when you say ru. Don't give that just a little bit, make it more distinct, the u, then move on to the meme. نذير مبين.
نذير مبين.
It's a bit better, jazakumullahu khairan. And Papa Juksana, let's have a go at doing the whole thing. Don't worry if you do find that you do need to stop, that's okay. But I want to give everybody at home an opportunity to have a go at reciting the whole ayah in continuation. But if you need to stop, don't worry, you can. قُلْ إِنَّمَا الْعِلْمُ عِندَ اللَّهِ وَإِنَّمَا أَنَا نَذِيرٌ مُبِينٌ.
قل إنما العلم عند الله وإنما أنا نذير مبين.
That's very good effort, mashallah. Don't forget the fatha, Pupaji, on the noon, keeping it nice and light.
Okay.
وَإِنَّمَا أَنَا نَذِيرٌ مُبِينٌ.
وإنما أنا نذير مبين.
Yes, what's happening, Pupaji? I'm hearing a lovely light noon for this one. Ana is also nice. The Hamza is also nice and light, but the sound of the end of the noon changes when you get to the. You're saying ana na. It changes. Ana na. Ana nadhirun mubin.
أنا نذير مبين.
One more time, Pupaji, please.
أنا نذير مبين.
It's also because I feel like your the timing is a little bit less also.
Oh.
So how long you spend on this first na, keep the same for the second one, because they're both 1-1 count. وَإِنَّمَا أَنَا نَذِيرٌ مُبِينٌ.
وإنما أنا نذير مبين.
MashaAllah, much better. Well done. Alhamdulillah, Allah bless you. Okay, inshallah, we'll stop there, inshallah, and I'll see you again tomorrow for verse number 27, inshallah. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik, nashhadu an la ilaha illa ant, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Barakallahu li wa lakum fil Qur'anil Hakim, wa nafa'ani wa iyyakum bil ayati wa dhikril hakim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.